your software is leaking customers and you don't even know where to look at. It's not pricing, it's not features, it's not your competitors. It's your website and your onboarding working against each other. Let me show you how and also how to fix it. Every week I see founders obsess so much about traffic. They talk about SEO, they talk how do we get more visitors. But here's the thing, traffic doesn't mean people stick around. When talking with new leads for my design agency, there are basically 3 patterns that I always see. The first one is good website and bad product. This means you usually get a lot of signups, but then they immediately drop out after like a few seconds because they don't see value in the product or it's confusing. Second scenario is that you have a bad website but a good product, which means you don't get many signups, and also those who do sign up are not qualified, so they might not be the right fit for your tool and they also drop out. And the third thing, and that's the ideal scenario, you have a good website and a good product, so you actually get a lot of signups, they're already qualified and they immediately see the value in your product, eventually start paying for it. That's what you want, and I will show you how to get there. I want to show you something from a real client that we recently worked on. And they didn't have a good product and a bad website. They had a bad website and a bad product. Or it wasn't really bad. We just tweaked a few little things to improve the website and the onboarding of the product. But eventually we get some great results. I will share it later. But basically they had the same problem. They had 200 visitors every day, but no one really signed up. And those people who did sign up, they just churned after 10 seconds. So they came to us with this problem, and this is what we did. First of all, we nailed the value proposition. For that, we ran several user interviews. Not just hey, would you use this type of interviews, but real interviews, at least an hour, fully scripted with questions about what their current pain points are, so that we can actually match them with the software. And eventually we found the real jobs to be done. In that example, it was to create a marketing pop-up. So the first thing we did was we changed the call to action of the website from sign up now to create your first pop-up in a few minutes. Very detailed call to action. You already know what you're getting if you click on it, and it solves the main, or it targets the main thing that users want to get. In the second step, we mapped the whole user journey. And what it basically does is it shows you exactly where customers might experience some troubles, where they get delighted by the software or by the onboarding, and where they might have questions. And that way you easily find out what you should improve during the onboarding. And in the third step, we fixed the onboarding. We got rid of all the clutter in the current onboarding, because now we know they need to create a pop-up. That's the easiest way how we can show quick value. And we got rid of all the other stuff that's not necessary. We don't need to show how the settings work. We don't need to show how to create a full campaign. All they need to do in the onboarding is to create this pop-up. So we made it easier by implementing templates, and we also made it easier by removing all the fluff. And the last thing we did is we filtered the audience, which means we improved the copywriting on the website. We tried a few variations, especially on the main headline in the hero section. So basically the first thing you read when you land on a website. And yeah, found out what's the headline that introduces the most signups. So now we have an onboarding that is very clear, very easy to understand how you get from no pop-up to create your first pop-up. And also the website copy as well as the call to action are aligned, so you always know what you as a user are expected to do. And this alignment is what actually drives the results. Let me share them with you now. So after measuring for 1 month, we saw 5% increase in signups, which, yeah, it's not a lot, but the real interesting number is that we got 30% higher activation rate. Activation rate is basically the number of people who did the desired action. So in our case, create the pop-up, divided by the number of signups. And this increased by 30%. Because signups are easy, but getting people to use your product, that's where it's hard. So here's what you should do now. First of all, fix your website copy. Make it crystal clear who your tool is for and who it isn't for. That's also very important to disqualify everyone who is not part of your target audience. If you're building something for e-commerce, don't try to appeal to coaches. They have different needs and you don't want to be a tool for everyone. You want to start in a niche first. Next, you simplify the onboarding. For that, you need to know what the main action is that you want them to perform. How can you show value as quickly as possible? And then you remove everything else. That's the perfect onboarding. You don't have to overthink it. Just allow them to do the single thing that shows them how valuable your tool is. And the third thing, and I didn't even mention that until now, you have to measure it. If you don't measure it, it cannot be improved. So measure two important metrics: the sign-up rate, so people who visit the landing page versus actually signing up, and then the activation rate, so people who signed up versus completed the onboarding and finished their first task. And then I want to show a pro tip with you, because that's something a lot of startups, especially early on, mess up. They say something: you can do this, you can do that in seconds, you can do your full accounting in minutes, while in reality it takes them at least 1 or 2 days to get through the full onboarding and the account creation. Don't do this. Take a stopwatch, be honest, and just track how long it takes, and don't overpromise, because they will eventually notice that it's not true that you can do it in an hour. So just be honest. It's okay, it's software. It doesn't have to be the magic pill that works in like a second. If you follow those steps, that's what you need to do to stop losing customers. The website, the onboarding, and the product all working together. If you like this video, give it a like and hit subscribe. And I'm especially curious if you have any thoughts about what I shared today, so just drop it in the comments. And then I hope to see you in the next one.